Dear friends, let me talk a little bit radically about the gospel, today's gospel. In the first reading, the Queen of Sheba observes that there was nothing hidden from the king. He knew everything. And Jesus today is talking about the thoughts, the sins of thought. When we do something really wrong, in the sense when we commit a mortal sin, it is only because we meant to do that. Okay? A mortal sin is not a mistake. A mortal sin is not something that happens in our body. A mortal sin is not an accident. A mortal sin is, I know that this is wrong in my heart. I'm thinking about it. I know it's wrong, that I shouldn't do it. And I want to do it. That's what, behind every mortal sin, there is a decision. I know it's wrong, and I'm gonna do it anyway. Mind you, a mortal sin is when I know it is seriously wrong what I'm going to do, and I still want to do it. That already makes a person impure. In the sense, it makes you in a state of a mortal sin. It may happen that then you do not have the opportunity to do it. It may happen that you don't do it because you're afraid of doing it, but you would like to do it. That's already defiling. That is already something that makes you impure. And this is a very important thing because we are so used to paying attention to the things that we can see. We are so lost in the senses, in the everyday life, in seeing things, listening to what people say, feeling what people say to us, etc. We're so lost in that. And that we sometimes forget that life is about what we want and that God can see everything. Nothing escapes the king. It's interesting. Huh? And keep in mind, sins of thought are sometimes we commit sin in our own thoughts. So we know we shouldn't be thinking about this, huh? And we still think it anyway. I shouldn't be thinking of this. I should try to think in another thing. I should pray. I should do something else. But this thought is wrong. I want to think about it anyway. Oh, but I didn't do anything. It's still bad because you know you shouldn't be thinking about it and you still do. Okay? That's the point. God sees everything. And I'm not saying that to then have to be like afraid of doing whatever because God is watching. Of course, we should be afraid of that. That's not bad. But at the same time, the point is, what matters is what nobody can see. What matters is what happens in my heart. What matters is what I want. What matters is what I choose. That is what actually makes an action bad or wrong. You can go to jail for an accident. You may have not meant to do what you did, but you still did it. I mean, the police saw it, it's in camera. You're going to jail. And you may not go to hell for that because you didn't mean to, because you took precautions, but you couldn't. You may not go to hell for that. because you didn't mean to. Instead, for the things that the police cannot see but happen in your heart, for those you certainly can go to hell. And that's scary. But that's life. That's life. Life is not what happens outside. Life is something that happens inside between you and God, between you and your neighbor. That is what it means to love our neighbor from the heart. It's not simply to be polite. It's not simply that my neighbor cannot complain about me. What do I want for my neighbor? What do I think about them? Okay, so may God help us to come back to our hearts, to live life from the inside, to pay attention to the things that God can see, to pay attention to the important things in life that happens in the oven of our heart. And may God help us all.